United States of America. Starting off with the United States, the modern American society has become eco-friendly and are opting for burial methods that are more in sync with Mother Nature. These methods include biodegradable woven willow caskets that decompose into the ground, or having ashes turned into concrete reef balls that will support the marine environment for generations to come. Tibet. In Tibetan Buddhist traditions, Mongolia and parts of China, it is believed that after death, the soul transitions while the body serves as an empty vessel to be returned to the earth. To facilitate this, a common practice involves placing the deceased high on a mountain, allowing natural decomposition by animals. Once only bones remain, they are grounded and fed to cows, thus completing the natural cycle. Surprisingly, around 80% of Tibetan Buddhists opt for sky burial over ground burial, viewing it as a more organic method of returning the body to nature. This ancient ritual culminates in leaving the body in an outdoor setting, typically atop a hill, where it is consumed by birds of prey. South Korea. Because of a law in South Korea requiring the removal of buried bodies after 60 years, cremation has become much more prevalent. However, as an alternative to scattering or using urns, there is a rising trend of transforming ashes into lustrous blue-green, pink, or black beads for home display. With limited burial space in South Korea, families are finding creative ways to honor their deceased loved ones. One common practice involves compressing the cremated remains into vibrant beads, which are then arranged in a bottle or urn for display. The Philippines. In the mountain province of the northern Philippines, the Igorot tribe observes a unique tradition dating back thousands of years. Serving as a popular tourist attraction, coffins are elevated on stilts along cliffs, guided by the belief that the higher the resting place, the smoother the journey to heaven. In this region, a prevalent death ritual involves crafting ornate coffins and positioning them on cliff faces for burial. Prior to interment, family members engage in various ceremonies, including seating the deceased in a death chair and draping them with a blanket. Ghana. In Ghana's Ashanti region, the Adowa is a funeral dance of dignified walking motions and graceful gestures that are supposed to imitate the movements of an antelope. This dance involves the entire community. Adowa depends entirely on the communication between the main drummer and the dancer. The dancer is expected to move in sync with the melody. Sometimes the drummer will test the dancer to see if he or she are keeping up with the rhythm, making it a fun sight for the audience. Women must not wear any Western jewelry or makeup. Their hair must be pulled back. Men have to wear extra yards of fabric tied in a different way to allow smooth dance. Everyone attending the funeral must wear appropriate funeral attire, black and/or red colors, and shoes to perform. Madagascar. The Malagasy people of Madagascar observe a funerary tradition known as Famadihana, or the turning of the bones, conducted every 5 to 7 years. During this ritual, individuals retrieve the bodies of their deceased relatives from crypts, wrap them in new cloth, apply perfume, and engage in dance ceremonies. They perceive it as an opportunity to reminisce with departed loved ones and seek their blessings. This custom involves exhuming the loved one's remains, replacing burial attire with fresh shrouds, and conducting a ceremony to reseal the crypt for another 5 to 7 years. The Philippines. Another custom from the Philippines involves the Tinguian people, who dress deceased individuals in their best attire, seat them in chairs, and insert lit cigarettes into their mouths. The bodies are left in these positions for several weeks. Aboriginal Australia. In Aboriginal cultures, there is a belief that upon death, one's spirit returns to the land before undergoing reincarnation. To initiate this journey, a smoking ceremony is conducted at the deceased's home to guide the spirit away. Subsequently, the body is positioned on a raised platform adorned with leaves and left to decompose over several months. USA. New Orleans, renowned for its music, cuisine, and vibrant culture, embraces an entertaining approach to funerals. Jazz bands lead the procession of the coffin, accompanied by family and friends, playing solemn dirges and hymns en route to the cemetery. Following the burial, the atmosphere shifts to one of celebration, with lively music setting the tone for a post-funeral party honoring the life of the departed. This tradition, blending African and European influences, has become a hallmark of New Orleans' funerary customs, inspiring similar practices in diverse communities. Mexico. The tradition described likely refers to Dia de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead, which is celebrated in Mexico and other Latin American countries. This ritual has recently started gaining attention due to its portrayal in the latest James Bond film. This tradition, celebrated in Mexico and beyond, honors deceased loved ones by creating altars in homes or cemeteries adorned with offerings such as marigolds, food, drinks, photographs, and candles. While it has indigenous roots, Day of the Dead has evolved over time and incorporates cultural influences from diverse sources. India. The Ganges holds immense significance in the Hindu faith, revered as the goddess Ganga. Central to Hindu beliefs is the concept of moksha, wherein the scattering of a deceased individual's ashes in a sacred place, particularly Varanasi, facilitates liberation from the cycle of rebirth. Along the revered banks of the Ganges River, cremation grounds operate incessantly, providing cremation services for Indian families. Wrapped in vibrant, colorful fabric, the departed are honored with religious rituals before being carried on bamboo stretchers to the cremation site. Sweden. Funerals in Sweden are solemn affairs, marked by simplicity and respect. Pine caskets, a long-standing tradition for their affordability and eco-friendliness, are adorned with floral wreaths and personal messages. After the funeral ceremony, mourners convene for a meal, with gravlax, a cured salmon dish, as a common offering alongside open-faced sandwiches, meatballs, and potato salad. A princess cake, or princess tarta, often concludes the meal a light sponge cake, layered with vanilla cream, raspberry jam, and whipped cream, encased in green marzipan. Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, where limited burial grounds are available due to high population density, approximately 90% of local families opt for cremation. While some may find cremation niches expensive, it's not universally considered taboo to bring ashes home. Despite this, many still choose to hold ash scattering ceremonies at sea as a popular alternative. Melanesia. In certain Melanesian cultures, such as the Four People of Papua New Guinea, a ritual known as endo-cannibalism is observed. Following a person's death, their body undergoes ritualistic butchering and consumption by relatives. This tradition is believed to ensure the continued presence of the deceased person's spirit within the community. Japan. Sokushinbutsu is a practice observed by certain Buddhist monks in Japan, primarily within the Shingon sect. It involves extreme asceticism, including self-mummification, wherein the monk undergoes a rigorous regimen of diet and meditation to reduce body fat and moisture. Upon death, the mummified body is venerated as a symbol of enlightenment. Nordic cultures. Many cultures, especially in Nordic countries, have embraced water in their rituals of choice for the dead. Some cultures set the deceased bodies adrift in death ships, either along a river or sent out into the ocean, giving the bodies back to the gods or places most valued by the people of the area. Bali. The Balinese cremation ceremony is when the Balinese have their greatest fun. In 2008, the island saw one of its most lavish cremations when the head of the royal family was burned along with 68 commoners. Thousands of volunteers carried a giant bamboo platform, an enormous wooden bull, and wooden dragon. After a long procession, the royal member's body was eventually placed inside the bull and burned as the dragon stood witness. Pakistan. The Kailash funeral rites blend mourning and celebration. Women typically sing religious songs and perform solemn dances around the deceased's pillow, while men and young boys drum and dance. The Kailash people also sacrifice goats, cows, and bulls to honor the deceased. The body is placed in the sacred Kailash site known as Jastakan, where it lies on a cot adorned with monetary notes and accompanied by cigarettes, nazwar, and fruits. Family members of the deceased offer 3 canisters containing ghee, cheese, and indigenous bread. The 3-day rituals end with a procession to the cemetery and aerial gunfire as a final salute.